book. Oh, it's a different Matt Haig book. Jesus. Book. What is happening? Fuck me. Hi y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Elizabeth. And today we're going to be doing my top 10 books of the year. And we're going to be our full real selves today. So I'm vaping and I have an old fashioned. Yay! Hooray, hooray. I just want this to be a relaxed, fun time. It's my day off. You know, I work in the postal service and gosh, it's been hectic. So I'm just down to relax today and not get too serious, not overthink anything. So I'm going to tell you my top 10 and I'm just going to recap what I remember. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe down below and I will love you forever. The algorithm with YouTube works in such a way that depending on the amount of comments I have below, the likes, and the subscriptions, it allows more people to see my content. So if you don't mind, I would love it so much if you could go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. I also want to hear what you think, so it works doubly so. Just some quick stats before we get into my top 10 books of the year. So this year I read 82 books. My goal was 50, so I definitely exceeded that. Yay me. It wasn't intentional, but it's just how it worked out. Since I've been carrying the mail, I have dramatically increased the number of books I can read, so because I listen to them a lot, so it just worked out perfectly that I worked my ass off this year and I listened to a lot of books this year. Of those 82 books, I read 30,546 pages, or I suppose I listened to 30,546 pages, or at least 20,000 of that. The shortest book I read was 203 pages, and that was The Seep by Shauna Porter, which was actually a really cool book too. I would recommend that. The longest book I read this year was Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and that comes in at a whopping 803 pages. The average star rating that I gave my books this year was 3.8 stars, which is pretty good. That's higher than average. So yeah, I can't really complain. And the highest rated Goodreads book that I read, highest rated on Goodreads, was The Hate U Give at 4.49. That's high for Goodreads. That's really high. All right, so let's get started. Without further ado, I'm going to pick up my 10 top books in no order whatsoever. I'm not going to do a countdown. I'm just going to go through this stack right here and show you the books that I love this year. This follows, what is her name? Nora. Okay, so we have The Midnight Library. A lot of these books I've just read in November, December, so I ended the year great. Actually, I loved this one. We follow Nora's seed. It's about a midnight library. She wakes up in and she gets to choose alternate universes to continue her life in which each universe follows her life as it would have been had she made a different choice at any given time in her past. So this book's awesome. Highly recommend it. We're gonna keep moving through these. I have next Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. And this one was a really fun YA urban fantasy. And this book has great representation, awesome commentary about race and perspective as far as how we're learning about our history and things of that nature. It's magical, it's fun, it's got games, it's got friends, it's got A Secret Society, King Arthur, Legends of the Round Table, and Root Magic, and fun stuff. You guys, check this out. It's the first in, I think, a trilogy. So looking forward to seeing where that goes. Okay, this next book I haven't talked about on my channel before, but I'm so in love with, and that is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This was my first introduction to Laini Taylor, and I just fell in love with her writing. She describes things so beautifully, and her prose is delicate and insightful and poetic without being purple prose. Her writing's awesome, which has also inspired me to check out, I don't know if you can see it, the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which I just bought, and I'll be hauling that soon, but I'm going to be reading that one as well because I'm just so excited for her writing. And this one deserves a nod as well because also Muse of Nightmares, both of these, just stunning, beautiful, fantastical stories. They follow Laszlo Strange, hence Strange the Dreamer, and he's an orphan librarian, and he hears about this city called Weep when he's a child, and it's surrounded by all of this mysticism and secrets, and he goes on a journey. I don't know how else to tell you, but these are great. So check those out. Also, when I've already mentioned One to Watch, I mean, this book's amazing. You've got The Bachelorette, aka Main Squeeze. You've got plus size representation. You've got drama, love, self-love, just amazing story. This follows B. She's a plus size fashion blogger and she's amazing. Check out my other video on this. I think that was my December wrap up. December or November wrap up? December, I think. I have Good in Bed by Jennifer Weiner. This book is another lovely body positive book. She describes herself as being a larger woman that doesn't necessarily see herself as a larger woman. So I definitely identify with that, and it's about being seen. I would very much compare it to One to Watch. So if you enjoy One to Watch, you'd probably really love Good in Bed. And it's all about self-acceptance and self-love and her coming to terms with her body and understanding that it doesn't matter what the outside, how people looking in view her, it's how she views herself that matters. And so it's very important. This one I read a long time ago, but this year, obviously. One Day in December by Josie Silver. And I just thought it was the sweetest read. If you're looking to pick up something to finish off your December with, I highly recommend this. It's a love story, and it follows Lori, and she's a skeptic about love, but then one day she's on a bus, he's on the bus, she's at a bus stop, and she makes eye contact. She's on the bus. She makes eye contact with this guy, and she just feels that instant je ne sais quoi, you know, that feeling, and she just instantly falls in love and never sees the guy again, talks to him about her best friend constantly. Like a year goes by, and then one day her best friend introduces her to her new boyfriend, and lo and behold, it's this guy. And so the thing I really enjoyed about Josie Silver's writing was her characterization. I felt like her characters had all of the gray ambiguity. I really enjoy a story in which the characters are morally gray or morally ambiguous. And that's not a bad thing. It's just an accurate representation of human beings. And I feel like this does that really well. So I really liked that. Next up, I'm gonna throw up top here, we have The Silent Patient. And I loved this book. I know it was really hyped up for a long time and I just never got to it. But when I finally did, I wasn't spoiled on it. So I actually was shook by this. And I thought it was awesome, suspenseful. I'm sure you've seen this. I'm sure you've heard of it. So if you haven't picked it up, if you're thinking, oh, it's just one of those, overhyped books, I'm probably not gonna like it, then give it a try. I thought the same thing and I thought, fuck it. And I tried it and I really liked it. Okay, next up, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo I read this year and I loved it. I had heard so much about it and it was one of those ones that was on my TBR forever. And I just didn't pick it up. And then one day I was like, oh, fine, I'll pick this up. And I loved it. It's about Evelyn Hugo, and she was like this glamorous movie star in the 50s and 60s, and she's older now and she wants to tell her story. She never talks to anybody, but she picks one reporter to tell her story to, and she lets her interview her over a series of days and reveals things about herself that she's never revealed to anybody before. And I thought it was brilliantly told. There is a connection between the two of them that you have to wait till the very end to find out. It was a great book. We have, let's do this one. One of my favorite authors, we have Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City. This came out this year, and it is the first in the House of Earth and Blood trilogy, I think it is. It's supposed to be her first adult fantasy, but all of her stuff is adult. I don't understand why. I don't see the differences. If anything, this one was more tame than some of Court of Thorns and Roses or Throne of Glass. So I really don't understand that distinction, but whatever you say, people. So this follows Bryce Quinlan, and I don't even know how to explain this. She kind of lives a life of where she parties hard, and then one day something happens to her best friend. She goes on a quest to discover what happened. She runs into this fallen angel, and then secrets become known. Her life changes. And a lot of this, oh, look, I saved a leaf. I forgot I put that in there. We don't usually get super colorful falls in Dallas. But we did this year, and so I snatched up the pretty leaves I could find and I saved them, put them in my books. She's thick, she's real thick. This book is 803 pages. So a lot of the beginning of this was exposition, was world building, was setting up everything you need to know. So I would read it till at least halfway through before you decide you don't like it or you do like it. Because Sarah J. Maas, the thing I love most about her writing is how neatly she ties up every little thing. If she's telling you some information, it's important. She doesn't just willy-nilly throw information out there. So everything just kind of gets sewn together and threaded together, and I thought it was an awesome, fun fantasy. Okay, next up, we have another one I've already talked about, but it's worth repeating, The One by John Marrs. Just love this book so much. I can't get enough of it. I will probably reread this in 2021 just to see if it holds up, because I know I've put so much hype onto this, and I've just told everybody I know about this book because I love it so much. John Marrs also has a new one coming out in February. I think it's called The Minders. I think it was released in the UK a long time ago, and for some reason we're not getting it here until February. But I've been keeping my eye on that, and I'm excited for it. So this book by John Marrs, it is a thriller. It's a multi-POV. It's set in the not so distant future in which we have identified a gene to find your soulmate. And it then goes into explore all the ramifications of that. And each of these people's lives that you get a sneak peek into, they all lead interesting lives. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But also with that, I want to also add his book, The Passengers, which I also really enjoyed. And this is a multi-POV as well. And it's a thriller. It's about, excuse me, 5 or 6 people they're following. And they get into these self-driving cars, and I think it's, self-driving cars, and the cars take over. All of these people are on a trajectory leading towards one another, and when they meet, some people aren't going to make it out, but there are reasons. It's been set up by someone, and you come to find each one of them have secrets of their own. Next, I definitely have to mention The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I read this, after watching the movie, I had seen the movie first, and I heard it was a book, and I decided to pick it up, and I just thought Angie Thomas's writing is so thoughtful, and it's so delicately done, but also punches you in the gut. She has a talent for weaving a story, and this, obviously, I'm sure most people have heard of this by now, but it touches on Black America and what it's like to live as a Black person. So I think it's important for people like me to read this. But actually, she has another book, a couple books coming out this year that I'm really excited about. She's got Concrete Rose, which I think is coming out very soon, which is the story of her dad, however many years ago, when he was her age, and when he got into the gang, and I think probably how he got out of the gang. So excited to read that in 2021. But I gave this 5 stars. It's just an excellent, excellent book. I can't recommend it enough. Was that 10? I don't even know how many that was. All right, so that's all I have today. And once again, if you're still with me, thank you so much. If you want to put a little heart in the comments so I know you watched the whole thing, I will send you all of my love. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with more 2021 content. Cheers, friends. Okay. Maybe it's much too early in the game. Oh, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing?
Exactly 12 o'clock at night. Welcome in the new Year's Eve.
Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I never be the one you chose out of 1,000 invitations you receive. Oh,
Well, in case I stand one little chance, here comes a jackpot question in advance. What are you doing New Year's Eve? What are you doing New Year's Eve?
I think that was it.
Yeah, it was all right.